Happy to have Coach Lee join us. He is going to open with questions. We'll start on the left side, third row.
Hey, Coach, good afternoon.
Hey.
Coach, AP Stedham, AP as we see it. Coach, what did you do well last year, and what can you do better to contribute the W's?
Well, you know, we on the whole played to an identity, executed a strategy a year ago. We found a level of belief that I think coincided with development of talent that had been in our program, and we added some important players to our team that didn't just, you know, join the team. They became a part of the team. So they learned about what we had done to build to the point we were, and they helped us carry it a little further. You know, when we talk about progress, I mean, there's a lot of measurable ways that we can progress in all three phases. So we're hard at work on those things. I think progress starts with this idea that we're going to reject the notion that we've arrived. It's not that we, and I want to be clear because sometimes I think I've enjoyed the fact that we're coming off the first winning season since 2013, the first bowl win since 2013. We were able to compete in our league at a level, and really within the Power Four, you know, we had 5 wins against Power 4 team opponents. All that is meaningful and creates an energy around our program. But progress is about like being willing to celebrate that and then move on from it. So we're now focused on the measurable ways we can improve, but also making sure our attitude's set towards, hey, we haven't arrived. There's a lot of important work for us to do because we actually have bigger goals and bigger vision for where this program can go. So we let that humble us, and we just stay centered and focused in the present.
Stay on the same row, left side, then pass it forward.
Oh, hey, Coach. Bruce Marshall again for
Good to see you again.
WCQ Memphis.
You're not hiding today with that.
I guess not. You know, I flew all night. My wife said, put the hat on. Let him see it. Anyway, sort of a two-part question, but this came up because you gave a great answer about Coach Klanakis. Have you talked to Coach Alt about the pistol and some of his things? So,
you know, I haven't. I have spoken with him in the past. In fact, I interviewed with him. This is right after my second stint at UCLA. And anyways, I've got so much respect for Coach Alt. Jim Mastro was a part of our staff at UCLA, another guy that has been a mentor to me and helped grow me in my career. But you know, Coach K is like one of the he's on the Mount Rushmore there, and so he's got all the knowledge I need at this point, I think.
We'll go in the front row here.
Coach Dick Cox with Lindy Sports and Cox Sports Broadcasting. I heard you say in the other room that you had 8 games last year decided by one possession, and you went 4-4 in those games. Did you learn anything from those games you think that may help you get over the hump this year?
Well, certainly, I think, you know, anytime, I think the first thing you learn is that we're not going to live in a world here in our league where we're not going to be in close games. And so to pay attention to the aspects of the game that allow you to win those games, how you perform on special teams, the hidden battles of field position, your performance when the vertical space on the field shrinks, so in the red zone, high red zone, low red zone, situational football, to be a smart team that understands how to win the battle for the clock. Those things they have to be, we're good enough to win every time we play. We're not good enough just to roll the ball out and play. You know, we have to have a deeper understanding of winning football. And it's honestly, it's an exciting challenge. I love that part of where we are, and our team does too. I mean, they know that. I mean, they understand exactly where we're positioned. So when you look at games that we came down to a final possession where we came up short, you know, where were we not winning those margins? Where did we not have a level of focus? How did that show up actually in our process leading up into the game? All that. I mean, I think human nature is to think that we're going to be able to show up on Saturday and fix all our problems. You're not able to. Human nature is I can live however I want to live, and I'll show up on Saturday and I'll be a good football player. It's just not true. eventually your habits, behaviors, your decisions catch up to you. And in our game, again, this is a game where 11 people need to be on the same page. You have 1 million reps every day of discipline, respect, and spirit. Let's capture all those reps, and let's make sure that who we are as people is ingrained, because our personal character will show up in our team character. And it's a little bit of what I said in the big room too, but part of winning close games, those games are a measure of who you are, not just as a team, but I think as a collection of people too.
Third row in the middle, then pass it forward.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX in College Station. I wanted to ask about Mike Elko. I know you've been at several stops that he's been at before. What kind of I guess, coach is he? And what was your reaction last year when he, joined the SEC as a head coach?
Well, Mike is one of my closest friends in coaching. So this is a guy that, I've got a ton of respect for, but we align on so many important values. And we always used to joke, 'cause we worked together 3 times. All 3 were 1-year stints, but at Bowling Green, at Wake Forest, and at Notre Dame. He's like the New Jersey version of me, is kind of how we'd say it. Like, I've got a little bit more of that Southern kind of, I may take a few more words to say what he gets to the point. We complement each other really well that way. Mike is a brilliant football mind. He's a great husband and father. I learned a lot watching him parent. He never compromised our preparation, but he found the corners of the day to do his work so that he could be home or be at a sporting event. I got so much respect for that. He's navigated having his family in Durham, North Carolina, while he's been at Texas A&M. I think that's so challenging, and the fact that he's been able to stay centered and stay grounded and keep that program moving in the direction he wants it to go is such a testament to who he is as a person. I don't know if that's enough on Mike. I promise you he's not paying me for all this. No, I love and respect Mike, and I'm excited for him. And, he's going to build a program there that's going to be challenging to take on, because, again, for him, it's the balance of being a great football mind, but also being a really good person.
Front row and then pass it to your left.
Travis Brown with KBTX. We'll ask a little bit more about Mike. Do you have any great anecdotes or anything that kind of encompasses who he is? And is there anything that you learned from him that you take in your coaching?
I don't have time to talk about all that I've learned from him. And some of that is learning because we're locked in discussion about scheme. Some of it's learning by observing. I think when I became a coordinator, I basically took what I'd seen him. And by the way, this guy was like a coordinator for like 20-something years. He had so much experience. But I took what I saw him doing. You can't be someone else, so I got to make it work for me. But I owe him a lot in my development. And I think while we're on it, Dave Clawson was a part of that too. Dave. I got to watch a master program builder at work at Bowling Green and at Wake Forest, and Dave has since retired, which is a huge loss for our profession. But those 2 guys made a huge impact on me as we went. And look, all of in the MAC, you used to you roomed with other coaches when you played road games, and so Elko was my roommate, and so we have all the dirt on each other. But that's not for today.
Coach, there's been a big influx, President Diermeyer, along with Candace Lee, your athletic director, into facilities, and you're going to be able to play in basically a brand new facility, a football facility, upcoming very soon. How has it been with the new upgrades to the facilities, and how important is that for your program?
Well, when we talk about building something that's sustainable, obviously we've been triaging NIL and now revenue share for a couple of years, and we were late in on it. I think and I'm talking about me, I underestimated how quickly that would become the driving force in player acquisition, player retention. And I do believe that there will be this return to what is the long-term value of the education, what is the opportunity that exists for me on the field, what is the revenue share value that this program has. I think the 3 of those things will balance each other out. They'll all 3 be important. But, that's been what we've focused our attention on, and that's what's allowed us to get to some footing on this journey. We, along the way, started a stadium project that we're finishing that was planned before the college football world was thrown into chaos. It's finishing up. It'll be done right as we're teeing the ball up to kick off. And that's exciting. I think our stadium environment, desperately needed an upgrade. I thought even last year with the north end zone being completed, we saw a better environment. I think with the south end zone, there's going to be a really unique feel to a Vanderbilt game day. But we're grossly missing the point if that's where we stop. We have to pay attention to our operations facility. We have to make sure that we're not taking a backseat to anyone in terms of the experience of our players. And our building is a building that's been around since 1990. The weight room is the same weight room I trained in. The physical spaces are not nearly as important to me as the people, and that's people first, mission always. That is who our program is. But hey, it's time for us to shift attention here and to build out a first-class facility to where not only do we serve our team the best we can, but also Nashville's home to so many pros. We have such an opportunity. Tight end U is held at Vanderbilt, which is the world's greatest tight ends descend on our campus and hang out in our building. But we can go way beyond that because of the number of professional players that are in our market. So, look, here's where I'm fortunate. This is not just on my mind. This is on Chancellor Diermeier's mind. It is on Candace Lee's mind. I've got a meeting when I get back to Nashville about next steps for this facility. And I think now once that's complete, you start to see a world where, again, we don't have to apologize for any part of our program. There's nothing about the experience that seems like it's second class. We're first class all the way. And at that point, you can start to really, talk about long-term stability and not placing any limitations on what we're capable of achieving.
We only have time for one final question here in the back on the left.
Coach, what can you say about Diego as a teammate, as a leader, and how important he is to the program?
Diego's one of my favorite people in the world. I knew quickly, I got to know quickly that I got to know his confidence. But I think what people miss on him some is the level of humility that he has, the curiosity he has. This is where I have such an incredible respect for him, because for all the swagger he plays with, and we need that too, by the way. Like I embrace this edgy, tough, I love the fact that you never know quite what he's going to say, but we want him to be himself and we want him to bring it, and his teammates expect that of him. But that is complemented with this guy who is totally process-driven, who's totally focused on what he wants. We celebrate competitors when they want to win more than they want to lose, fill in the cliche you want. And we excuse them when they're throwing a tantrum because they don't get their way. They have a tough outing and a bad snap and they're throwing a fit, and we say, oh, he's just so competitive. Well, that's not being competitive to me. That's being immature. Diego Pavia is a competitor. He knows he's not entitled to winning. And so his best moments are our worst moments, where he is steadying the sideline and able to look people in the eye and say, count on me. Here we go. This is the course we're setting. When we had adversity last season, it wasn't like he was pointing the finger anywhere else. He was focused on the work. That's a coach's dream. And so I just, when people watch him play and you enjoy that swagger, and again, look, my kids have a little more street cred at school because of him. I appreciate that too. But behind all of that is a process-driven, curious, respectful person who is going to be able to sustain a career as long as he wants. And that's what I want people to know about Diego Pavia.
Coach, thank you very much. Great
Thank
job
you.
as always.
Appreciate it.